Chosen one. Pause for a moment. This is not a coincidence. This is not an accident. Right now, heaven is pressing pause on everything else in your life to whisper your name. You feel that tug deep within you, that stirring that will not let you go. It is because you are marked by God, called by name, separated from the crowd. The voice you hear is not mine, it is the Spirit of God breaking through the noise around you to get your attention. You have been walking through life with questions. You wondered why you felt different, why fitting in never worked, why rejection kept finding you. What if I told you it was not rejection, it was preservation? You were never meant to blend in with the masses. You are a signal fire in the night, like a lighthouse built to stand on sharp rocks. You were designed to shine where storms rage, not in calm seas. I think of a young man I once knew. He sat quietly in a crowded room, always on the edges. People mistook his silence for weakness, but inside, he carried questions that burned like fire. He told me one day, "I feel like I don't belong anywhere." What he did not know at the time was that God was preserving him. God was building depth in him, like a seed breaking underground before it ever sees sunlight. The waiting, the silence, the hidden years, those were not wasted. They were preparation. Maybe you recognize yourself in his story. Maybe you are that seed right now. The Spirit of God is calling your name, the way a shepherd calls the sheep that belong to him. And when he calls, everything else in life suddenly feels small. The entertainment, the distractions, the opinions of others, they lose their weight compared to the voice of your Creator. Chosen one, I must tell you, your presence terrifies the darkness. There is a reason the enemy has fought you so hard. Why sleepless nights and silent tears have become part of your story. It is because your calling is greater than you realize. Every scar, every wound, every whispered prayer that no one else heard, they are the proof that heaven has its hand on your life. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 1. Fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine. Do you hear it? Not a general call, not a vague invitation, but your name, your very identity, spoken by the voice of the Creator. That is why your heart races when you hear truth. That is why your soul leans forward, even now. Because the God of heaven and earth is not addressing the crowd. He is addressing you. Imagine a compass in your hand. You are lost in a forest, confused by many paths. Then suddenly, the needle steadies and points north. That is what this moment is. The voice of God is your compass, fixing your direction when everything else feels uncertain. So listen carefully. Do not shrug this off as just another message scrolling past your eyes. This is heaven knocking at the door of your soul. If you sense that burning, whisper back to God, even now. I hear you calling my name. Oh, and if this word speaks to you, let it not stop with you. Share it as an act of faith. Even now, you can type the number 777 inches, the comments to say, I receive the call, I answer, and subscribe to stay connected. Because what God is unfolding for your life cannot be walked out in isolation. The voice of God has broken through for you. The question is, how will you respond? Chosen one, before the foundations of the world, you were already seen. You were not an afterthought. You were not the result of chance or coincidence. Heaven wrote your name into its story long before you ever took your first breath. The truth is, you are marked, set apart, and chosen. And this is why the weight of your life often feels different from others. You are walking in a destiny that was sealed before time began. Think of the way an artist studies the canvas before a single stroke of paint touches it. In his mind, he already sees the final masterpiece. That is how God saw you. Before the world was even formed, He had already imagined your purpose. The brush strokes of your story were not random. They were intentional, full of design. Scripture reveals this through the Apostle Paul's words in his letter to the Ephesians. Chapter 1, verse 4. For He chose us in Him before the creation of the world, to be holy and blameless in His sight. These are not just words, they are proof that your existence is anchored in eternity. There is a woman I once knew who always asked, "Why am I still here?" Life had thrown storms at her loss, betrayal, sickness. She thought she was forgotten, but as time passed, she realized she was still breathing because heaven still had assignments for her to fulfill. What looked like delay was really God's preservation. Every step she had taken, even the painful ones, had been guided toward a greater purpose. Chosen one. Maybe you feel the same. Maybe you carry scars that tell you life was unfair. But scars are not just reminders of pain. They are proof you survived. They are your testimony. And often, they are the very markers of your calling. God does not waste anything, not even your tears. Imagine a seed locked beneath hard soil. To anyone passing by, it looks lifeless, buried, forgotten. Yet within that dark place, life is stirring. At the appointed time, the soil will break open, and the seed will rise. That is you. The hidden seasons of your life have not been punishment, they have been preparation. There is a mystery about being chosen. It means you are pulled out from the crowd, often misunderstood, sometimes even rejected. People may look at you and say, "Why are you so different?" They cannot see what God has spoken over you. But heaven knows. Heaven has declared your destiny. Chosen one. I want you to hear this clearly. The weight you feel is not because you are weak, it is because you are marked. The pressure you sense is not to crush you, it is to shape you. You are not like the rest, because you were never meant to be like the rest. You were meant to walk a path carved by the hand of God Himself. So, as you breathe in this moment, remember, you are not here by chance. You are here by design. The one who formed you has never forgotten your name, and He never will. And when doubts rise, let this truth steady you before you ever spoke a word, before you ever achieved or failed. You were chosen. Nothing can erase that mark. The world may overlook you, but heaven never will. Carry that certainty as your foundation, and you will walk forward with courage. Chosen one. There are battles you have fought that no one else has seen. Nights where you lay awake, staring at the ceiling, asking heaven why the weight feels so heavy. Days where you pushed forward with a smile on your face, while inside you felt like you were breaking apart. Yet here you are, still standing, not because you are lucky, but because you are sustained. There is a reason God has not let go of you. Sometimes, you wondered why the opposition feels relentless. It is because your life carries a light that disturbs darkness. Your very presence is a reminder to the enemy that God's plan is still alive and unshaken. That is why trials have come like waves, trying to bury you beneath them. But the truth is, you were never meant to drown. You were meant to learn how to walk on water. There was a young woman I once spoke with who said, "I feel like every time I get close to breakthrough, something comes against me." What she did not realize then was that resistance is proof of calling. Just as the strongest winds oppose a soaring eagle, so the greatest pressures often confront the most chosen lives. She came to see that what looked like opposition was really training, sharpening her endurance, teaching her to rise above. The Word of God reminds us in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 8, "We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair." Notice the pattern: pressure, yet not destroyed; confusion, yet not abandoned. Your struggles are not evidence of failure. They are the training ground of the chosen. Think of your life like a diamond buried in rock. Pressure surrounds it. Weight presses against it. Darkness conceals it. Yet within, transformation is happening. The harder the pressure, the brighter the diamond will shine once revealed. That is you, chosen one. The crushing you felt has only been shaping your brilliance. You may have questioned, "Why me?" But heaven answers, "Because you are mine." Others may not understand the cost of your journey, but they were not called to carry what you carry. They cannot see the oil of anointing that has been produced through your pain, the authority that has been forged through your endurance. Now comes your part. Do not shrink back. Do not silence your voice. This moment is not about surviving, it is about rising. You are called to step forward, even trembling, because obedience matters more than comfort. Right here, I want you to make a declaration. In the comments, simply write, "I choose strength." Those 3 words may look small, but they carry weight. They are a prophetic act, a way of saying to heaven and to your own soul, "I will not quit. I will not collapse. I will not abandon my call." As you write it, let it seal something inside of you. Let it be your line drawn in the sand, where fear loses its grip and faith takes its place. The truth is, you were never built to crumble. You were built to conquer. And even now, heaven is strengthening you for the road ahead. And remember this, choosing strength does not mean pretending the pain never existed. It means refusing to let the pain define your ending. When you declare those words, you are stepping out of agreement with despair and stepping into agreement with destiny. So let your soul rise. Let your voice join with heaven's voice. As you speak strength over yourself, you awaken the warrior within, and you remind every shadow around you that you are not alone. You are chosen, and you are rising. Chosen one. Rejection has a way of cutting deep, leaving marks that words cannot describe. You know the sting of being overlooked, of being left out of circles, of watching doors close while others walk through easily. People may have dismissed you, misunderstood you, or judged you without ever knowing your heart. What they called weakness, heaven calls strength. What they saw as insignificance, God sees as preservation. There is a story of a boy who grew up always standing at the edge of groups. He wasn't chosen first for games, wasn't invited to gatherings, and often felt invisible. Over time, loneliness grew like a shadow around him. Yet what nobody realized was that this boy was being set apart. While others were distracted, he was learning how to listen. While others ran ahead, he was learning how to wait. Years later, that waiting became his strength. Rejection had not destroyed him, it had refined him. The scriptures remind us of this hidden work. The prophet Hosea wrote in chapter 2, verse 14, "Therefore I am now going to allure her. I will lead her into the wilderness and speak tenderly to her." Do you see it? The wilderness is not punishment. The wilderness is where the voice of God becomes clearest. Sometimes the reason you were pushed away from certain people or places was because heaven wanted you alone, so you could finally hear him. Chosen one. Rejection is not the end. It is often the redirection. You thought you were losing opportunities, but in truth, you were being guided away from paths that would have stolen your calling. People may have walked out of your life, but their absence made space for God's presence to grow stronger in you. Think of a sculptor at work. With each strike of the chisel, pieces of stone fall away. To an untrained eye, it looks like loss, but the sculptor sees the hidden figure waiting within the rock. That is your story. The losses, the rejections, the seasons of being cut back, they were not random strikes. They were purposeful, shaping you into who you were meant to become. Sometimes rejection even comes from those closest to you. Family, friends, people you trusted. That wound cuts the deepest. But remember, even Jesus was rejected in his hometown. He was despised, doubted, and betrayed. If the Son of God himself walked through rejection, then your own experience does not disqualify you. It aligns you with him. There is power in realizing that rejection can no longer control your identity. What they thought of you does not define you. What they said about you does not decide your future. Heaven has already spoken, and heaven's word carries greater weight than any human opinion. Chosen one. You must learn to see rejection not as the closing of doors, but as the opening of better ones. What you lost was never meant to anchor you. What you were denied was never meant to carry you. And every person who failed to see your value cannot diminish the value God placed in you from the beginning. Lift your eyes for a moment. Imagine a tree in autumn, shedding its leaves. To some, it looks bare, lifeless, rejected by nature. But those falling leaves are proof of a coming season. Winter will pass, and spring will return. The tree will not only stand, it will blossom again. That is you. So let your heart rest. What left you was never meant to stay. What turned away was not your loss. You are still chosen, still marked, still preserved for a future greater than you can yet see. Chosen one. The light you carry has always been different. You may not see it, but others feel it. Walk into a room, and suddenly the atmosphere shifts. Speak a word, and hearts lean in closer. You might think of yourself as ordinary, yet the fire of God inside you burns so brightly that darkness cannot ignore you. That is why storms have risen against you, not because you are weak, but because you are radiant from the very beginning. Light has always been opposed by darkness, yet even the smallest flame can scatter shadows across a whole room. Your presence does the same. You may not even realize it, but when you show up, confusion begins to break apart. Despair begins to tremble, and chains begin to loosen. Not because of who you are in your own strength, but because of who you carry within you. The writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 27, verse 1 remind us, "The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life, of whom shall I be afraid?" When you walk with this light, you walk with a strength that cannot be explained. And that light is the very reason you have been preserved. I once spoke with a man who had spent years believing he had nothing special to offer. He worked, went home, and repeated the cycle, convinced that his life was small. Yet what he did not know was that people at his workplace found peace just being near him. One day, a colleague told him, "I don't know why, but when you sit near me, I feel safe." He began to realize what had been true all along. He carried light, and others could see what he had overlooked. Chosen one, maybe you have dismissed yourself, thinking your presence does not matter, but it does. You are like a lamp on a hill, hidden in plain sight, yet visible to those who are searching. You are like the dawn, quiet, gentle, but breaking through every shadow with inevitability. Think of this: when a traveler walks through a dark valley and sees even a flicker of light in the distance, their hope returns. That flicker becomes a promise: I am not alone. I will make it through. That is what your life is doing for others. You are that flicker. You are that reminder. Now let me speak to your heart. If these words resonate, let this be your gentle act of faith. When you press like, it is as if you are adding another log to the fire, making the flame burn brighter. When you share, it is like passing a torch into someone else's hands, multiplying the light. And when you subscribe, it is like choosing to sit around the campfire, knowing the warmth will not fade when the night gets colder. You see, none of these are obligations. They are simple acts of light, acts that echo what your spirit already knows. You are not meant to walk in darkness alone. Chosen one, your light is not fragile, it is eternal. What God has lit in you, no darkness can snuff out. Let your life shine, not by force, but by nature. For when the dawn comes, no one can stop the sunrise. Chosen one, there are moments in life where you feel as though you are standing at the very edge of a cliff. One more step forward could lead to breakthrough, or it could lead to falling away. That is the weight of choice. It is not something to take lightly, because destiny is shaped in these moments. Heaven has been patient with you, but patience does not mean forever. There comes a time when you must decide. It is like walking along a narrow bridge, suspended over deep waters. The wind shakes the rope, the boards creak beneath your feet, and your heart races. Every step forward demands courage. Standing still feels safe, but it cannot carry you to the other side. That is where many chosen ones find themselves caught between hesitation and obedience, between delay and destiny. The prophet Elijah spoke in the first book of Kings, chapter 18, verse 21. How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal is God, follow him. That question echoes across time, and it still reaches you today. How long will you waver? Chosen one, the moment to stand firm has arrived. I remember hearing the story of a man who always said, "I'll surrender when I'm ready." But years passed, and readiness never came. His heart grew harder with each delay, and the voice of God felt more distant. It was only when a crisis shook him that he realized mercy had been calling all along. He whispered through tears, I almost waited too long. That man found restoration, but only because he finally obeyed. His story is a warning and a reminder. Waiting endlessly is not an option. Perhaps you too have been postponing. You feel the nudge, the conviction, but you tell yourself, tomorrow. Yet tomorrow has its own distractions, its own excuses. Delay is not neutral, it is dangerous. For every delayed step, the heart grows accustomed to silence. Every ignored conviction becomes a layer of callous on the soul. That is why God interrupts your moment even now, because He does not want you to wander so far that you can no longer hear His voice. Chosen one. Standing at the edge is not your destiny. You were never meant to linger on the cliff. You were meant to step into promise. The same God who calls you will uphold you, but He cannot walk for you. You must answer. You must choose. This is why I ask you to mark this moment with a prophetic act. In the comments, type the number 999. That number represents finality, completion, and the closing of old cycles so that new beginnings can unfold. When you type it, you are declaring, I will no longer waver. I will no longer delay. I choose to stand firm. Let that number be more than digits. It is a symbol of your decision, a way of engraving this moment into your spirit. Think of it as placing a stone at the riverbank, the way Joshua commanded Israel to do after crossing the Jordan. Each stone was a testimony, a marker for future generations to see and remember. In the same way, your action becomes your stone of remembrance. Whenever doubts come, you can look back and say, I chose, I stood, I did not shrink. So let the hesitation fall away. The bridge before you is shaking. Yes, but it is also leading you to life. Do not look back to the cliff edge. Do not let the winds of uncertainty stop your steps. Walk forward. Your future is waiting, and heaven is ready to strengthen you as you move. Chosen one. Mercy is not weakness. Mercy is the very heartbeat of God reaching toward you. Even when you wander, even when you delay, many mistake mercy for permission. But they are not the same. Mercy is an invitation to return, a doorway that remains open while time still allows. And yet, like all doors, it does not stay open forever. There was once a young man who ignored conviction again and again. Each time, he said, I'll change tomorrow. Tomorrow stretched into months, and months stretched into years. Slowly, his heart grew dull to the voice he once recognized so easily. He told me later, I couldn't even feel God anymore. But one night, mercy found him again in a moment of silence. He realized that conviction itself was proof that heaven had not turned away. He wept, not because he was lost, but because he was found while there was still time. Chosen one. Conviction is not condemnation. Condemnation pushes you down. Conviction calls you higher. Condemnation says, you're finished. Conviction says, get up. The way is still open. That is why you must treasure it. If you can still feel that gentle tug on your heart, if tears still rise when truth touches your spirit, then mercy is still at work. The Apostle Paul wrote in his letter to the Romans, chapter 2, verse 4, do you not realize that God's kindness is intended to lead you to repentance? Notice the language kindness leads. It does not push. It does not drag. It draws you with love, waiting for your willing response. Think of a shepherd calling back a lamb that strayed too far. The lamb may not understand the dangers ahead, but the shepherd sees. His call is not anger, it is protection. That is what conviction is. A call back before the wilderness swallows you. A call back before darkness blinds you completely. Mercy is a gift, but it is also a responsibility. To ignore it again and again is to treat lightly what is sacred, like a candle flickering in the wind. Mercy still shines, but if left unattended, the flame risks being lost. And without the flame, darkness settles quickly. Chosen one. This is why the window matters. Think of an open gate at the city wall. While the gate is open, travelers may enter safely. But at nightfall, when the gate closes, no amount of pleading can open it again. The time to enter is while the gate still stands open. That is what the Spirit is saying now. Do not wait for tomorrow when today has been given. Many wonder, how do I know if the window is still open? The answer is simple. If you feel even the smallest whisper of conviction, the door is not shut. If you sense even the faintest light in your spirit, the flame is alive. That alone is reason to hope. So, let hope rise in you. Do not despise the tugging of mercy. Do not treat conviction as a burden. It is proof that heaven still calls your name, that you are still on the path, even if you feel far away. Chosen one. Let this truth anchor you. Mercy is not endless, but mercy is available now. The hand of God is extended. The gate is still open. The flame still burns. Treasure it. Respond to it. Walk through it while it is still here. Chosen one. There is a crown being prepared for you, but it is not placed on those who quit midway. It is reserved for those who endure. Endurance is not glamorous. It is not always celebrated. Often, it looks like quiet persistence when no one else notices, choosing to keep walking when every part of you wants to give up. But heaven says, and heaven keeps record. Think of an athlete in training. The applause of the crowd comes later, but the sweat, the early mornings, the aching muscles, those are unseen. It is in the unseen hours that strength is forged. In the same way, your endurance in hidden seasons has been forming a strength you will one day need in public battles. The Apostle James wrote in his letter, chapter 1, verse 12, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." The crown is not promised to the swift, nor to the comfortable, but to those who persevere. There was once a woman who prayed for years without seeing answers. Friends told her to stop, to let go, that perhaps nothing would change. Yet something inside her refused to surrender. Every day she whispered her prayers, not because she saw results, but because she believed God had not forgotten. Years later, breakthrough came suddenly. What looked like delay had been preparation, and her endurance became a testimony to many. Chosen one. Endurance is not about gritting your teeth in misery. It is about trusting that God is still working even when you cannot see it. Endurance is choosing faith over sight, believing that the soil is not barren simply because the seed has not yet broken through. Picture a mountain climber ascending steep cliffs. Each step is slow, painful, deliberate. The air grows thinner. The body grows weaker. yet step by step, they climb. The view at the summit cannot be seen until the last step is taken. But every small movement upward is necessary. That is your journey. Endurance is the climb, and the crown is the summit. Sometimes, endurance feels lonely. Others may leave the race, distracted or disheartened. You may look around and see fewer companions than when you began. But do not mistake solitude for abandonment. Even if others walk away, heaven walks with you. The Spirit strengthens weary legs and breathes life into tired hearts. Chosen one. The crown of endurance is not only a future promise, it is also a present transformation. Every time you endure, you are being shaped into someone unshakable. Every battle you survive adds another layer of resilience. One day, you will look back and realize that the weight that once crushed you has become the very weight that built you. Endurance teaches you to see differently. Where others see obstacles, you see training. Where others see delay, you see preparation. Where others see weakness, you recognize hidden strength. This vision belongs only to those who endure, because endurance gives you eyes that cannot be blinded by temporary struggles. So, chosen one, lift your head. The crown is not given lightly, but it is sure. Heaven does not overlook those who endure. Let your trials become stepping stones, your tears become seeds, and your scars become jewels in the crown that waits for you. Hold fast. The reward is closer than you realize. Chosen one, the time for hiding is over. You have been through your wilderness. You have been pressed in silence. You have been shaped by fire. Now the command from heaven is clear. Rise. This is not a suggestion. It is a summons. Destiny does not wait forever. When God says move, the earth itself begins to shift, to make room for your obedience. There is a moment when a soldier can no longer remain in the barracks. The sound of the trumpet calls him out. He may feel unready, but the command does not depend on his feelings, it depends on his allegiance. That is you, right now. You may not feel prepared, but obedience is not about comfort, it is about loyalty to the one who calls your name. The Apostle Paul's words in his letter to the Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 14. Declare, wake up, sleeper, rise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you. It is a call not to the crowd, but to the individual who has been asleep too long, to wake, to rise, and to step into the light that is already waiting. I remember the story of a young man who lived afraid of speaking his truth. For years, he kept quiet, convinced his voice was too small, his gifts too insignificant. Then one night he had a dream. He was holding a torch, but his hands shook so violently he kept dropping it. A voice said to him, "The fire is not yours to control, only to carry." He woke up trembling, realizing the weight of what God had entrusted him. From that day forward, he stopped hiding. His voice carried a fire that began to ignite others. Chosen one. Rising will never feel easy. Fear whispers, reasons to stay hidden. But heaven declares reasons to step forward. Rising is a decision, not a feeling. It is like standing at the shore while the sea roars, knowing you cannot control the waves, but choosing to step in anyway. The waters will part only when you move. Your rising will shake the atmosphere around you. Darkness has grown comfortable in your silence, But the moment you step forward, that silence is broken, and chains begin to fall. You will see resistance, but resistance is proof that the enemy fears what you are carrying. This is the hour for your declaration. In the comments, type, awake, arise. These 3 words are not just syllables, they are a battle cry. They declare that sleep is over, delay is broken, and destiny is awakened. When you write them, you are speaking life into your own spirit and aligning yourself with the command of heaven. And when you see those words on the screen, let them stir something in you. Let them remind you of this exact moment that you chose not to stay buried. You chose not to remain silent, but you chose to rise. Chosen one. The trumpet has sounded. The time for silence is over. The time for shrinking back is past. This is your hour to rise. And understand this clearly. Rising is not just about you. It is about those who will see your courage and find their own. When you rise, you give others permission to rise too. Your obedience becomes a doorway. Your boldness, a spark. Your yes, a ripple that travels farther than you will ever know. This is why heaven is calling you now. Because your rising is not only your victory, it is part of a greater awakening. Chosen one, have you ever wondered why you are still here, through all the storms, through all the betrayals, through every closed door? You are still breathing. You are still standing. That is not an accident. You have been preserved for an assignment, one that only your life can fulfill. Heaven has kept you, carried you, and shaped you for this exact moment. Assignments from God are not random tasks. They are pieces of a divine puzzle. Each chosen one carries a part, and without it, the picture is incomplete. You may feel small, but your part is essential. Think of a violin in an orchestra. Alone, its sound may feel fragile, but in the grand symphony, its notes add beauty the whole cannot live without. That is your role, indispensable, even if overlooked. The Apostle Paul wrote to the Ephesians in chapter 2, verse 10, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus, to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." These words are not poetry alone, they are assignment. You are God's work of art, designed intentionally to complete a mission prepared long before you arrived here. I recall the story of a woman who longed for her purpose. She thought purpose meant a stage, applause, or recognition. Yet her true assignment was raising 2 children who would later touch thousands. Her kitchen table became her altar. Her whispered prayers became her ministry, and her endurance became her legacy. What seemed hidden was actually holy. That is how assignments often work, sacred, yet unseen. Chosen one. Maybe you think your life is ordinary, but what if the very ordinary is extraordinary in God's hands? Like a clay jar carrying treasure, your everyday obedience is the vessel through which heaven pours its glory. Do not despise the small tasks, the quiet faithfulness, the silent battles. These are the fibers weaving your assignment together. Picture yourself as a lighthouse on a stormy coast. Ships you will never meet depend on your light to find safe harbor. You may never see them, never know their names, but your obedience saves lives you do not even realize. That is what your assignment is like. It ripples farther than your eyes can see. Now, let me invite you into something gentle yet powerful. When you press like, think of it as adding one more flame to the great bonfire of faith, making the fire brighter for others still wandering in the dark. When you share, imagine handing a lantern to a traveler who has lost their way, giving them light for the next step. And when you subscribe, see it as choosing to sit with others around the campfire, returning to the flame again and again, knowing warmth and strength will always be there. None of these are obligations, they are offerings. Simple, beautiful acts of alignment, acts that say, I am part of this light. I am part of this story. Chosen one. Your assignment is not a burden, it is a crown. The weight you carry is the evidence of your purpose, and the world is waiting, not for someone else, but for you. Step into what heaven preserved you for, and let your obedience become the spark that lights 1,000 more. And as you walk forward, remember, assignments are not measured by size, but by faithfulness. Even the smallest spark in your hands can ignite a fire that changes generations. Your yes today will echo further than you can see. Chosen one. There is a battle intensifying around your life. One you may not always see with your eyes, but can certainly feel in your spirit. You have noticed the strange resistance, the sudden heaviness, the moments where everything seems to rise against you at once. This is not coincidence, it is warfare. Darkness does not waste its energy on those with no future. It wars against those with destiny. Picture a storm gathering over a mountain peak. Lightning cracks. Thunder shakes the valley. Winds rage with fury. Yet the mountain does not move. That is the image of your life right now. The enemy throws his storms, but you remain, because you are anchored in something immovable. The battle intensifies not because you are failing, but because you are closer than ever to stepping fully into what was promised. The scriptures reveal this reality in the first letter of Peter, chapter 5, verse 8. Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. It is not a gentle picture. It is a warning that the opposition is real. But notice this, he prowls like a lion. He imitates strength. He mimics power. But he is not the true lion. The Lion of Judah roars louder, and his voice steadies your soul. There was a young woman who told me she constantly faced setbacks right before breakthrough. Every time she prepared to move forward, whether in her work, her family, or her faith, sudden resistance would come. At first, she thought it was bad luck. Later, she realized it was evidence of a spiritual battle. The more she pressed into prayer, the clearer it became. Opposition was confirmation, not condemnation. She learned that battles were not signs. She was on the wrong path. They were proof she was walking the right one. Chosen one. This is why you must not interpret conflict as failure. When the fire grows hotter, it is often because heaven is refining you. When the shadows press harder, it is often because your light is growing brighter. The opposition is not random, it is targeted. And that alone should remind you of your worth in the eyes of heaven. Think of a soldier marching with a banner into enemy territory. The closer he gets to the stronghold, the more arrows fly in his direction. Yet his mission is to keep walking, not to retreat. That is you. The arrows of discouragement, fear, and doubt may come, but they do not have the power to stop you unless you lay down your banner. Even in warfare, you are not alone. Angels stand guard around you. The Spirit intercedes within you. The Word strengthens you. You are surrounded, not abandoned, and every blow the enemy attempts to strike will be turned by God into training, every wound into wisdom, every scar into testimony. Chosen one. The battle is real, but so is your victory. The very fact that the fight has intensified is a sign that the enemy knows he cannot hold you much longer. Pressure always comes before release. Night always deepens before dawn. The fiercest roar of the storm comes just before the skies break open with light. So do not fear the intensity. Let it remind you that you are advancing. Let it anchor you in the truth that heaven is with you. For though the enemy rages, he cannot win. You are held. You are covered. And you are moving forward into the fullness of what was written over your life. Chosen one. There are times when heaven confirms its message with signs, moments where the invisible breaks into the visible. You have felt it before. Sudden alignment, unexpected confirmation, a word spoken at just the right time. These are not accidents. They are prophetic markers that remind you heaven has been guiding your steps all along. The scriptures reveal this pattern again and again. Think of Gideon, who asked for a sign with the fleece. Think of the star that led wise men to the newborn king. Heaven uses symbols, numbers, and moments in creation to point us toward its truth. These markers are not superstition, they are reminders that God still speaks. The book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 9 declares, "In their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." You may make plans, but it is heaven's confirmation that steadies your path. Even when you do not understand why things unfold the way they do, those confirmations remind you that the author of your story is still writing with purpose. I once knew a man who kept seeing the same number everywhere on clocks, receipts, even license plates. At first, he brushed it off, but eventually, he prayed, asking God if it meant something. That season became a turning point in his life. He realized God had been using those patterns to draw his attention, to make him slow down and listen. The numbers themselves were not magic, they were markers of God's timing. Chosen one. Maybe you've noticed certain patterns repeating in your own life. Maybe there are words, symbols, or moments that keep resurfacing. They are not coincidences. They are prophetic breadcrumbs. Reminders that you are not wandering aimlessly. Heaven is guiding you. That is why I invite you now to mark this moment with a prophetic act of your own. In the comments, type the number 555. This number represents grace multiplied, transformation, and the divine hand reshaping your journey. It is not about digits on a screen, it is about saying, I see the signs, I receive the shift, I will walk in step with heaven's timing. When you write it, let it be more than an action. Let it be your agreement with the unseen. Just as Israel placed stones after crossing the Jordan to remind future generations of God's faithfulness, your comment becomes a stone of remembrance, marking the day you chose to align with what heaven was showing you. Picture yourself standing at a crossroads. One path looks familiar, the other feels uncertain. Suddenly, a light shines on the second path, just enough to show you where to step. That light is what prophetic signs do. They do not reveal the whole journey, but they give enough clarity for the next move. So do not despise the signs. Do not dismiss the patterns. Heaven speaks in ways that reach even the quiet corners of your life. And right now, the call is clear. Notice, respond, and walk forward in confidence. For your steps are not random, they are ordered. And let me add this, prophetic numbers like 555 are not about superstition, they are about surrender. They remind you that God's grace is abundant, that His timing is perfect, and that His hand is guiding your steps into transformation. When you embrace these reminders, you shift from fear into faith, from confusion into clarity. Chosen one, take heart. Every sign you notice, every pattern you discern, is a whisper of heaven saying, you are not forgotten, you are not wandering, you are guided. And when you respond, you align yourself with the very rhythm of God's plan. Chosen one, authority is not something you grasp with your own hands. It is not a badge you pin on your chest, nor a title you claim. True authority comes from walking closely with the one who carries all authority in heaven and on earth. It is born out of intimacy, obedience, and surrender. When you align your steps with His, you carry a weight that shifts atmospheres without needing to shout. Think of how Jesus spoke. Crowds gathered not because His voice was louder than others, but because His words carried substance. Demons trembled, stopped still, and the sick were healed. Authority was not in the volume, it was in the source. That same authority has been entrusted to you, not for your glory, but for His kingdom. The Apostle Paul reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, the second book, chapter 10, verse 4. The weapons we fight with are not the weapons of the world. On the contrary, they have divine power to demolish strongholds. This is the authority you walk in, not human strength, not natural strategy, but divine power that can tear down what seems unshakable. I recall the story of a man who often prayed timidly, unsure if his words mattered. One day, a mentor told him, "You are not begging God, you are standing as His representative." That shifted everything. The next time he prayed, he spoke with the certainty that heaven backed his words. Soon, he began to see breakthroughs. Not because he suddenly became powerful, but because he finally understood the authority already placed within him. Chosen one, your authority is not for self-promotion. It is not to make people notice you. It is to establish heaven's order in places where chaos has reigned too long. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere should shift not because of your presence alone, but because you carry the presence of the King. Picture yourself as a key in the hands of God. Keys are not loud, but they open doors no one else can. They grant access and release captives. That is what your authority does. It unlocks what has been bound, opens what has been shut, and releases what has been trapped in darkness. Authority also requires responsibility. A soldier entrusted with a sword must know how to wield it wisely. Recklessness can harm those meant to be protected. In the same way, your authority is not about domination, but about service. It is about using power to lift others, not to elevate yourself. Sometimes, you will feel unworthy of authority. Memories of past mistakes whisper, "Who are you to speak with power?" But authority is not earned through perfection, it is received through position. You are a child of God, seated with Christ in heavenly places. That position secures your authority, no matter what your past may accuse you of. Chosen one, You must also understand that authority grows in obedience. Every time you respond to God's voice, your authority deepens. Every time you choose His will over your own, your words carry more weight. Authority is not built overnight. It is forged in the daily choice to walk with Him. So lift your voice without fear. Stand firm without hesitation. When you speak, let heaven's truth flow through you. For you are not just a voice in the crowd, you are a vessel of authority. And where you stand, darkness must retreat. Chosen one. There are promises written over your life that cannot be erased. They were spoken by the mouth of God Himself, and His word does not return void. Human voices may doubt, circumstances may shake, and even your own heart may waver, but heaven's covenant remains unbroken. You are bound to God not by fragile threads of emotion, but by an unshakable promise sealed in His own blood. Think of Abraham, called to leave his home and follow into the unknown. He had nothing to hold on to except the promise God had given him. Decades passed before he saw it fulfilled. Yet the covenant never expired. His doubt did not cancel it. His weakness did not nullify it. The promise stood, because the one who made it could not lie. That same faithfulness covers you. Chosen one. The book of Hebrews, chapter 6, verse 19 declares, "We have this hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure." That anchor is God's covenant, steady in every storm. When life feels uncertain, when winds of change threaten to uproot you, the anchor holds. You may be tossed, but you are never lost. I recall the story of a woman who nearly gave up after years of unanswered prayers. She thought her promise had expired, that perhaps she had misunderstood God. Then, in a moment she least expected, the answer came. Looking back, she realized the delay had not been denial, it had been preparation. The covenant had been alive all along, waiting for its appointed time. Chosen one. God's covenant over your life does not bend to time. It does not bow to circumstance. It does not depend on the approval of people. It is written in the eternal record of heaven, and no force on earth or in hell can erase it. Picture a ring of gold placed on a finger. Years may pass. Scratches may come. Seasons may change. But the ring remains a sign of unbroken commitment. In the same way, God's covenant with you remains. Life may leave scars, but the promise does not tarnish. His word over you is still yes and amen. This covenant is also your inheritance. It means provision when resources fail, guidance when the path is unclear, and strength when weakness overwhelms you. It means that when you fall, there is still mercy to lift you. When you stumble, there is still grace to restore you. The covenant does not abandon you when you are at your lowest. It surrounds you, reminding you of who you are and whose you are. Sometimes you may question if you have disqualified yourself. You remember failures, broken choices, missed opportunities. But listen closely. The covenant is not upheld by your perfection. It is upheld by God's faithfulness. The blood of Jesus sealed it once and for all, and nothing you have done can erase what He already secured. Chosen one. Your task is to hold on to this truth. When doubt comes, point back to the covenant. When fear whispers, anchor yourself again in what is unbreakable. Even when your eyes cannot see, Trust that heaven has already written the end of the story. The covenant is more than a promise, it is a guarantee. What God has spoken, He will do. What He has begun, He will finish. And though the waiting may test you, the covenant will carry you through. So rest your soul. Chosen one, you are not adrift. You are anchored. You are not forgotten. You are bound to an eternal covenant that cannot be shaken. And your story is held securely in the hands of the one who never breaks his word. Chosen one, what you are part of is bigger than yourself. There is a stirring in the earth, a shaking in the nations, and a rising of a remnant who refuse to bow to darkness. You are not just one life hidden in the crowd. You are part of a movement, a wave that heaven is releasing across generations. This is not small. This is global. Think of fire spreading through a forest. It begins with one spark, but soon it leaps from tree to tree. Unstoppable. That is how awakenings work. They do not stay contained. One voice becomes many. One prayer becomes a chorus. And one light becomes a blaze. You are not only carrying your destiny, you are carrying a piece of heaven's awakening. The prophet Habakkuk wrote in chapter 2, verse 14, "For the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the Lord's glory, as the waters cover the sea." Do you hear the scale of this promise? Not a corner untouched. Not a nation excluded, the glory of God spreading like water that cannot be held back. That is the kind of awakening you are part of. I think of a young woman who felt her life was insignificant. She prayed quietly in her room, unseen by anyone else. But years later, she discovered her simple prayers had fueled change in places she never stepped foot in. Her whispered intercession became part of a larger story, proof that no act of faith is wasted when it belongs to God. Chosen one, this is why your voice matters. Your obedience joins with countless others, forming a river that cannot be stopped. What you carry is not meant to be hidden, it is meant to ripple outward. You are the thread in a tapestry, the note in a symphony, the star in a constellation. Alone, you shine. Together, you blaze across the night sky. Now, let me place this before your heart. When you press like, it is as if you are planting a flag on a hill, declaring that you stand with the light. When you share, it is like sending a dove into the distance, carrying hope to someone you may never meet. And when you subscribe, it is like choosing to return to a well, knowing there will always be living water to drink again. And what about your comment? Think of it as your stone of witness, like the ones Israel placed after crossing the Jordan River. It is a marker that says, I was here, I heard, I aligned. Write your heart in the comments, not out of obligation, but as an echo of what heaven is already stirring inside you. None of these actions are demands. They are invitations. Invitations to take what has moved your heart and let it move outward. Invitations to join a fire that is spreading, a song that is rising, a movement that is unfolding. Chosen one, the awakening is not coming, it has begun. You are in it. You are carrying it. And as you align yourself with what God is doing, you will see ripple effects beyond anything you could imagine. Your life will not just shine for yourself, it will light the path for nations. So lift your head, steady your steps, and let your flame join the blaze. This is bigger than you, and yet it needs you. The earth is waiting, heaven is moving, and your obedience, your yes, Your voice, it matters more than you know. Chosen one. There comes a point when the voice of God shifts from gentle invitation to urgent warning. This is not because his love has diminished, but because the time for decision cannot be delayed forever. The harvest is at hand, and the window of mercy will not stay open indefinitely. Heaven calls you to recognize the seriousness of this hour. Think of a farmer watching the fields ripen. He knows there is a season for planting, a season for waiting, and a season for reaping. But once the harvest is ready, delay becomes dangerous. If he waits too long, the grain rots on the stalk, the fruit falls and spoils. In the same way, the season of your calling cannot be postponed without loss. What God has sown into you is ready, and the time to respond is now. The prophet Joel, in chapter 3, verse 14, declareth, multitudes, multitudes, in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near. In the valley of decision. That valley is where you stand today. The choices made here are not small. They echo into eternity. The urgency is not meant to crush you, but to awaken you. I once met a man who said, "I'll commit when things settle down." But life never settled. Years slipped through his fingers, and when he finally turned, he wept over wasted time. His story stands as a mirror for us all. Waiting for perfect conditions is the same as choosing delay. And delay, when stretched too long, becomes disobedience. Chosen one, you must see the weight of this moment. Heaven is not casual about it. Angels lean close. The Spirit presses. Creation itself groans for the chosen ones to rise. This is why your spirit feels restless. Why the same words seem to chase you. Why you cannot shake the sense that something is at stake. Because something is. Picture a door slowly swinging shut. The light is still spilling through the gap. But with each moment, the opening narrows. You could still walk through freely now. But one day the hinge will close completely. This is what divine warnings are. The reminder that opportunities are not endless. That grace is not to be treated as cheap. It may sound heavy, but this weight is holy. It is the urgency of a parent calling their child away from a rushing river. It is the alarm sounding before disaster strikes. God's warning is not condemnation. It is protection. To ignore it is to drift toward danger, but to heed it is to step into safety and strength. Sometimes, the greatest deception is the belief that there will always be more time. Yet Scripture reminds us that life is a vapor, appearing for a little while and then vanishing. To assume endless chances is to gamble with eternity. That is why the Spirit presses you now. Why your heart feels unsettled even as you listen. It is love disguised as urgency. Chosen one. Do not let the warning pass you by. Treat it as a sacred gift. A final bell before the gates close. A torch lit at the last bend of the path. You have been carried this far, but now you must decide how you will walk forward. The harvest is at hand. The call is clear. The warning has been sounded. And now, heaven waits for your response. Chosen one, you have walked through the valleys, endured the nights, pressed on through battles that seemed unending, and yet, here you are, still breathing, still chosen, still marked by a hand that will not release you. This final moment is not the end of your journey, it is the unveiling of who you have been all along. You are crowned and unstoppable. Think of the seed buried deep in the earth. For a long season, it seemed invisible, hidden, forgotten. Yet underground it was breaking, stretching, preparing. Then suddenly, it pierced the surface, small and fragile at first, but destined to become a towering tree. That is your story. The hidden years were not wasted, they were necessary. They prepared you for this revealing. The Apostle Paul's words to the Philippians, chapter 1, verse 6. Speak with certainty, being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. The crown you wear is proof of this truth, that what he starts, he always finishes. I think of a runner reaching the finish line after a grueling race. Muscle hache, sweat pour, lungs burn. But when the ribbon breaks across the chest, every step of pain becomes worth it. The crown on your head is heaven's ribbon breaking, the sign that you endured, that you finished, that you refused to surrender. Chosen one. Unstoppable does not mean you never stumbled. It means you stumbled and rose again. It means that every time the enemy whispered, "Stay down," you listened instead to the voice of God saying, "Rise." Unstoppable means that what was designed to crush you only sharpened you. What was meant to silence you only deepened your voice. Picture a river carving its way through stone. Year after year, it push forward. Rocks may resist, but slowly, persistently, the river shapes even the hardest ground. That is the power of endurance, and calling it makes you unstoppable. You are that river, chosen to carve pathways for those who will come after you. The crown upon you is not merely for show. It represents responsibility, legacy, and authority. You wear it not to exalt yourself, but to carry light into places that have been shrouded in darkness. You wear it as a sign that you belong to the King, that you reign with him, that your story is no longer one of defeat, but of victory. Chosen one. Pause and feel this truth. You are not fragile glass, you are refined gold. You are not ashes, you are fire. You are not a shadow fading into silence, you are a torch lifted high. The world may not understand you, but heaven has always known you. And now, as the journey of these words comes to a close, your own journey stretches ahead. You are not at the end, you are at the beginning of a new chapter. The crown rests on your head, not because you demanded it, but because you endured for it. You are unstoppable, not because life will suddenly be easy, but because nothing can sever you from the one who called you. Step forward in this truth. You are crowned. You are chosen. You are unstoppable. And the story written over you will shine brighter than any shadow that dares to rise against it. Chosen one. Before we part ways in this moment, pause and breathe in what you have received. These words were not random. They were heaven's reminder that you are called, preserved, and crowned. Now the question is not whether you are chosen, but how you will walk forward with that truth. Think of a flame glowing in the dark, alone. It gives light to one room, but when it touches another candle, and another, suddenly an entire house is lit. That is what happens when you allow what stirred your spirit here to move outward. When you press like, it is as if you are adding oil to this flame, keeping it strong so others can also find its glow. And consider this, a lantern does little good if it stays hidden under a basket. when you share. It is like lifting that lantern high on a hill, so travelers wandering in shadows can see the way home. You may never know the names of those who glimpse the light, but heaven will know. Then there is the well. Water is life, and no one drinks once and never returns. When you subscribe, it is like choosing to return to the well again and again, knowing there will be fresh living water each time you come. You are not walking this path alone. You are joining others who carry the same fire. And finally, your own words matter. When you leave a comment, it is like placing your stone on the altar, a witness that you were here, that you heard, and that you chose to align with heaven's call. Chosen one. This is not obligation. It is invitation. A beautiful, voluntary act of faith. Light the flame. Lift the lantern. Return to the well. Place your stone, and let the story continue.